Alex Belfield.
One of the longest-running musicals, in fact, by Disney. It's called Beauty and the Beast, and we're here today in the Lunfontaine Theatre on 46th Street on Broadway. And I'm rather exhausted, having walked about 27 floors to speak to Criss Hogg. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Being the star, they should have really given you a rather more convenient dressing room, I would have thought.
You would think so. Talk to my agent, please, because, this trek up here is rough.
It's no wonder you're looking fit and thin, because, I mean, having walked up all of those 16,000 flights of stairs, wasn't it? Something like that. You must be very fit.
Right, it's the only exercise you really need is just walking up the stairs, yes.
Now let's talk about Beauty and the Beast, because it's been on Broadway now for years and years and years, 9th year this year, and it's an amazing show. And I was talking to one of the PR people before the show about why it's such a success, and I think it is the only family children musical on Broadway ever, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and I think it really works well because it appeals to both. It has the parts the children really like, and then it has the parts the adults really like, and I mean, you have that, and it's a marketing bonanza.
Absolutely. Now, you play Gaston, which is an interesting role. You can't really say that he's Millennium Man and a feminist, really. He likes his women in a certain place.
Yes, he likes them dumb and pretty, probably, which is what he would be described as. But I think he's misunderstood, though. Really, isn't he the anti-hero? Really, isn't he the misunderstood hero? A new generation will look at Gaston differently. I think that's what I'm thinking. Yes.
Criss, dare I ask, is there any of you in him?
He's a little less attractive than I am, actually. I would hope not, but depending on who you talk to. I would hope that he would be what we all would not want to be. Yes.
You see, the thing is with this character is, having sat there with ladies through this performance, they seem to love you, and the women do like that harder man that's got a little bit of edge. So I suppose Gaston does have some favours with the lady, despite the fact he's probably a bit sexist.
I hope do you have their numbers that I could call them with. Hopefully he's a little bit kind of the lovable bad guy, not just completely. I mean, in the end, hopefully he's not lovable, but hopefully he has a little bit of it. I think the writers did a great job of that, of giving him a little bit of love, likability throughout the entire show, so that people like him. Yeah.
This is a great comedy as well, isn't it? There's lots of funny lines in it, whether you want to find it or not. If you just want to watch it for the spectacular, you can do. But there's a lot of funny lines in it, and a lot of humour and wit and sarcasm, and particularly with your role, which I do like.
Oh yeah, I mean it's got a lot of. I think a lot of that is Howard Ashman, who originally wrote the lyrics for the show, and he just, I remember Linda Wolverton, who wrote the book, was telling me that Howard Ashman, when he first wrote it, just kept on writing these songs for Gaston, and do we really need more Gaston? Yes, Gaston, he just thought it was just a hoot to the character. I mean, there's so much comedy in it.
How do you keep it fresh, though, after all these years of doing it? Because you are saying the same lines in the same order, with the same songs in the same order, night after night after night. It must be a challenge to keep it fresh.
Well, hopefully they're in the same order. Sometimes your mind goes, no, but, it's really, it's so big, the show is so big, and you have so many people depending on you. I mean, I don't know how people would do like a 2-character show for a long time, or, but we have so many people depending on us. If it was just me doing, a one-man show, then it would be tedious, I'm sure, but you have so many, once you get in here, and you have the orchestra, and everyone backstage, and everyone like that depending on you, that it's really very easy to kind of, give your best for them. And also the audiences, it's like I'd probably be a lot harder to do something that was strictly dramatic or something, or I'm sure the Les Miserables people, after being on those barricades, crying for 3 hours every night is a little more difficult. But, at this show, it's so much fun that that's always easier, and you get to react with the audience. They take you along. So it's not really that hard.
This is an amazing show for many reasons. The book and the music of it is absolutely fantastic, and there's some classic songs that we all know. Disney have just released the DVD in the UK and over here as well of the original animated feature, which again is a huge success. But this show has really brought that movie to life.
Yeah, well, that's kind of, I think, that's the kind of the challenge of the show, is to really kind of compete with what everyone knows of the animated feature. It's because it really is larger than life in a way, to still keep that real, but still keep what, what everyone knows from the movie and what they love about the movie, to keep that with them, as it were.
We were talking about the fact that you'd have to be very fit to get up the stairs, but is there any pressure on you that you can't get fat? Because this is not a role for someone who's large. This is a role for a man who has to be physically appealing, I presume.
Well, I do hit the gym an awful lot. I mean, there's the workout clothes right in the dressing room that I used between shows and before the shows, and I definitely hit the gym a lot.
Did you ever think that you would be here in a huge musical on Broadway? Did you always want this, first of all?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Definitely. I remember I saw the show originally. I remember with my mother. I'm from the Midwest, and we came and we saw it. And she was telling me a couple days ago, she said, we saw that. I had no idea that you'd ever be doing that role. And so, yeah, I've always wanted to do it. And hopefully, I always hoped, I think all actors hope that they're going to get here. If not, they'd face facts and get a real job because, this is such a tough career. But, this is what I've always wanted, definitely.
A lot of actors whinge to me about how tired they are, and I always think, well, you're on stage for 2.5 hours and you work very hard, but it's not like going down a mine and digging coal.
Right.
Is it very stressful? Are you very, very tired at the end of the day, or is it just showbiz tired?
It's probably showbiz tired, I would imagine. I think maybe you get tired at the end of the week, maybe, just with when a 2-show day might be tired. But I guess you're right, it is showbiz tired. It's not like you're, toting that barge or something, but it is... it does get a little tiring, but you're right. It's mostly just tiring from having to have energy out there,
There are a lot of shows on Broadway that are huge hits at the moment. Is there any dream role that you would want if you weren't being Gaston in The Beauty and the Beast?
I know this sounds cheesy, but I saw this movie and I wanted to be Gaston. I can't lie. I know that sounds horribly cheesy, but I remember when I was growing up, that's so corny, and I'm sorry. And trust me, Disney did not make me say this. But when I was a kid, I saw this movie and I wanted to be in this so bad because he's so funny and this is what I wanted to be in. So.
Did you aspire to be like him in real life?
I hope not. I'm sure there's some ex-girlfriends you can find who would disagree with that, but I hope I'm not like that.
We'll go and search for those now. Thank you so much for talking to us today, Criss Hogg. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and you keep walking up and down those stairs because you've got to be very fit for this role.
Indeed. Thanks a lot.
The Alex Belfield In Conversation podcast with daisymedia.co.uk. Alex Belfield.